And we are live, I think. Hello everybody, and welcome to our video talk. And that's the first talk from February. And we are having here my friend Dmitry from the Bulgarian Java user group, who is going to have a quite fascinating session. But before that, let me show you something. Our regular slides. And yeah, so we are the virtual Java user group, and I'm your host today. My name is Ivan Ivanov, and this is my second session for the year, which I'm very happy to host. Very great thanks to our sponsors from Sneak or Snack. And I will quote here my co-host and friend Brian, who says that Snike creates developer tooling that enables developers to scan their projects for known vulnerabilities in their open source dependencies. So yeah, check Snike if you want to be 100% sure of your security. So if you are watching this live and you want to comment or ask questions or whatever else, join us on the virtual Jug Slack and go to the live session channel where you can ask your questions to my friend Dmitry. You can also give your feedback to virtual Juk or to my Twitter handle, which is Ivan_Stefanov. So we talked to Dimitri in the beginning, and he said that he's going to take your questions at any time. So I'm going to find the slots or the spots to interrupt him, and he's going to answer your questions. And okay, what is going to be the talk tonight or today if you are in the Western Hemisphere? So Dmitry, my friend, Dmitry Alexandrov, is going to speak about one great framework from Oracle, which is based on MicroProfile, but is doing quite much more stuff than MicroProfile core. And this framework is named Helidon. So yeah, Dmitry, without further ado, I will stop sharing my screen and it's you.
Hello, everybody. It's so nice to be here at this virtual Juke. Finally, I made it. Finally, I'm in this virtual Juke. I was waiting for this moment so much time. And you know, this virtual Juke is very special because it is entirely, broadcasted to you from Sofia, from Bulgaria. We are both now in Sofia, Bulgaria. And it's very, very snowstormish here, I would say. So at some point, I even have lost my internet connection, but my phone switched to 5G and I'm quite happy about it. Okay, so really a pleasure to be here with you, Ivan, and everybody who's joined us with YouTube. So please comment, please interrupt me. We don't have a time frame, I guess, but I hope we will just be on time, like 1 hour talk. So I will start sharing my screen. Ivan, please confirm you see it.
Yes, I can see it. Go on.
Okay, lovely. So today I'm going to talk about my new passion, which turned to be like my new job. So I will talk to you about Helidon. So my talk will be like fly like a rocket with Helidon. My name is Dmitry. I'm a software developer at Oracle now. So email me on this address or send all of you emotions, tweets, everything about you find interesting about Helidon or what you saw on my tweet handle right here. Like every Oracle employee, I have to show you this slide. So it's going to be fast. So today we are going to talk about what actually Helidon is. What is like, how does it support MicroProfile? We'll go a little bit deeper. There will be a few surprises for you. Well, some Q&A maybe at the end, or you can interrupt me at any time, which you find interesting questions. Ivan, You are the responsible for the questions. So let us dive into it. So what is a Helidon? So we position ourselves as like a set of Java libraries for developing microservices because we're not exactly a micro framework or not exactly a huge, like, vast framework, but we're somewhere in the middle and we are mostly focused on MicroProfile. So actually our main goal is like to be like MicroProfile based framework. And it is like not only, so Ivan told me that it's not only MicroProfile what we're doing, so we are more than that. And you wonder, Helidon, maybe you've heard of it, but what is it? So in Greek, that means a swallow, this wonderful, very graceful bird, which flies at really high speeds. It's so much maneuverable. It's so beautiful. So every time I watch them flying them in flocks, like it always reminds me about microservices. And I guess the name is exactly chosen. It's perfect for this type of framework. So small bird flying in flocks, really maneuverable, cool. And it is amazing because it is open source. Actually, I'm not even sure if we are the first. No, we are the second actually project which Oracle published at Apache 2.0 license. So it's all the sources on GitHub. Please go, if you have any questions, just go there, see our code. It is beautiful. But every time you get issues or pull requests, just submit it. We will handle them. As I said, very small, very fun to use, and very fast. Why? Because it is built on top of NetT. So it's just several layers above NetT. And since we are microservices, we are cloud native ready from the very beginning. So every time you run your Helidon software or software based on Helidon, from the beginning, you will get health, metrics, tracing, everything. And since we're extremely modern, I would say we have almost total GraalVM native image support. So this is one of our goals, to have this everything native image ready. And we do provide it. And as I told you, we are extremely modern. That means that without any compromises, we run everything on Java 11 plus world. So we support everything from modularity to newest, coolest features, and we try to apply them as much as possible. By the way, one of my tasks was to see something about records. So I even have records in my code already. Maybe they will be shipped in some near versions of Helidon. So a brief history. So Helidon is not something extremely new. It's actually mature. It started its history, I would say, back from 2015 when it was first called Airport. So it was the first idea to run microservice, a platform to run microservices, and it was highly inspired by Spring Boot. I will be quite honest here. So, but Oracle decided to do something, well, internal for that. Then it was renamed to J4C. Actually, the team was split between Czech Republic, or Czechia, what's the correct way of saying it, and the US, and it actually gained its first microkernel, and it was surrounded by modules like Jersey, Grizzly, etc., to host everything correctly. As I told you, in 2017, it became like J4C. It was really a set of libraries with some reactive web server and some security configs in it. Actually, this is the foundation of Helidon SE. So we will go back. We will see more about Helidon SE in the future slides, the coming slides. 2018, already like 3-ish years ago, it was renamed to Helidon. So the correct name was actually chosen, and we started supportive in MicroProfile, and what's the best part? Totally open sourced and moved to GitHub. So, and back to that, here actually happened the first presentation of the release. 2019, we already had version 1, which was production ready. All the MicroProfile specifications were implemented, we become like GraalVM native image support. And what's the good part of it? We had our first customers, like real customers with support and everything. In 2020, actually came the version 2.0, which is now the main, say, streamline of what we're doing. So full support of Graal native image in Helidon MP. That means for the MicroProfile, everything you do in MicroProfile based framework is Graal native image ready. And we had our commercial support. So in 2021, we are planning to have more MicroProfile, even the specification, which are not exactly part of the main specification, but like long-running actions, etc., but we will do this. And once again, stability, performance, a lot of integrations, and once again, it's open source. Any ideas, any way you want to cooperate, contribute, or whatever, GitHub is the place. Just submit an issue, and we will react extremely fast. So let us actually see what Helidon is. So as I said, built on top of Netty, what we have. A layer on top of that here is actually Helidon Reactive APIs, so which is we internally now called Helidon SE. And on top of it is actually the Helidon MicroProfile. And let's actually see what it is. So a few words about MicroProfile. I'm quite sure everybody knows it, although it's a specification like actually born on our eyes, which is amazing because most of us are like witnesses of how it was born. So just, I believe about 4 years ago, several companies actually sit together and say, okay, we want to do an open source community specification for enterprise Java microservices. And we became actually MicroProfile 1.0, which was only 3 specifications like CDI, JAX-RS, and JSON-P. And now we have more of them, and they are released with high cadence, like 4 releases per year. And much more information you will find MicroProfile.io. By the way, Ivan, remember us doing very cool workshops from the very beginning of MicroProfile, how we did it.
I was going to interrupt you with this. I mean, together with Dimitri, we did quite a few workshops, I think a couple of them, on MicroProfile 1 and then MicroProfile 1.3. So you can check them out on the Bulgarian JUK GitHub. And
and we have to do more because why? Because MicroProfile 4.0 is already here and it supports like 12 main specifications, as you see, which are specific to microservices world, I would say. So we have open tracing, we have metrics, we have joint propagation, everything about health, and like JSON BNB. Of course, CDI to glue it all together. So as I say, with high cadence, it evolves really fast. And where is Helidon in this part? So Helidon, we are currently working to support 4.0 to make a full support. And actually, I was quite happy to do some open tracing adoption. Just already submitted my pull request. And what we have currently is 3.3. It was the last the previous specification. We fully supported. We were actually one of the first to support it fully. So we've got all this MicroProfile config, metrics, open API, and on top of it, so just to fulfill, we have several Jakarta EE specifications, which is like CDI, JSON, even WebSockets, some persistent stuff, and Jakarta annotations. So it's like, so we're just putting it all together. And we have some Helidon specific specifications. Yes, I have to find some other words. But we have some demands from our customers. So we now, in the current version, we ship also the cores and gRPC server and client. So this is something which is highly demanded right now. And when you download Helidon, you will get this out of the box, let us say. So what will you get actually out of the box? You'll get MicroProfile config, which is So you configure your application in a standard way. That means you can port any of your MicroProfile application to Helidon without actually changing anything. It's just standard way of doing things. It has standard health checks. So when you run your app, it will be out of the box there. It will provide you metrics, of course, in Prometheus format or in JSON format. It has everything from the specifications, so like counters, gauges, meters, and so on and so on. This data you can visualize with Grafana. So it's out of the box. Yes, specifics, all the scopes are supported, like vendor-specific applications and base, of course. You got it out of the box. Since we are running in microservices world, like one action can be done through many requests. You get this open tracing support, and you have specific modules for Zipkin and Jaga. That means that you don't need to perform any other operations. You just put in few dependencies and it will run out of the box, which is cool here. Definitely fault tolerance, everything can fail. So like distributed systems, like has distributed problems, we are here to handle them. We are not only like providing services, but we're also consuming services. So we have a REST client for that. And to document everything correctly, we have this open API, which is cool. In the tweet, it was written live coding session with Dmitry Alexander von Helidon. So show me the code. Actually, how can we start coding in Helidon? First of all, we are mostly like Maven centric. So that means we have an artifact for that. Just type in an artifact, add a dependency, like this is the only one you need, and you will have it running. If you need only some core features to run, like MicroProfile, you don't add everything, you just download the code, you just add the MicroProfile core, and that's it. Or you can go to MicroProfile starter page and choose the correct implementation runtime. Yes, the one which is like in red there. Choose the correct one. Just type in that you are in MicroProfile 3.3. And of course, the SE version will be Java 11 because no compromises for us. We are moving forward and we are using the best of Java coming. But we're going to make it in an advanced way because here we have prepared some really nice helping tool for you, which is the Helidon CLI. And this CLI will definitely help you a lot to create project, build project, and let us actually see it. So how can you actually get CLI? First of all, you just click on the link, and here you have some installations instructions. Funny thing is that this application is actually native image of a Java application. So it's written in Java, it's then built to native image, and then it's distributed as a binary for you. So currently we have macOS and Linux support. Windows is already completed. So it's just a matter of, I believe, days. It will be released and you will have it like here. So it can be in macOS, it can be used in Linux, and it's very simple. By the way, just some, I would say, shameless plug. I would just to say that take a look at this wonderful documentation we provide here. So everything you need with all of the examples, with all of the features, everything is documented, and we pay much attention and really high attention on documenting everything in a very good way. So the website is just very nice. Check it. Okay, so where we are. So yes, CLI. Let us have a demo. Let us actually go to live coding. So here I have like my console. So what we will do, we have this Helidon app. I have done my homework. I have downloaded it. And we will create a project. Only thing we need is to do like Helidon init. And it will ask us some questions like SE and MP.
Mitya,
Yep.
I can only see your browser right now.
Really?
Maybe you are trying to show the
Let me
console terminal.
Yep. Let me show it again.
Okay.
Let me show it again. Did it work?
Loading.
Loading.
I mean, nothing is.
Nothing. Okay, let me. I think the problem is with Zoom. It has some issues. Let me rejoin. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Let me rejoin.
Okay. So while Dmitry rejoins, let me ask you again to pose your questions in our Virtual Joke Slack channel live session. And yeah, I can see your console right now, Dmitry. But I can't hear you. You're muted.
Of course, my Zoom was set up to always start on mute. So
yeah.
yes,
Okay.
it's just
Go
as a
on.
precaution. Okay, so we will just do the clear command once again. So clear. Yep. So from scratch. So what we do, I've done my homework. So we are now trying to create a Helidon application. So I've downloaded the Helidon app, and what we will do, we will start a new project. It will be like init. Then we will answer some questions. Remember, like those, I'm not sure how it was in your schools, but in our schools, we always created like some applications which are asking questions, you should answer them, and then you get a score. Here is the same way. It's very intuitive. Just run the app and it answer some questions. So of course, we will first do the MP. We will go to SE a little bit later. Then you see it has some flavor, not flavors, but like minimal setups. First one is the bear, which is like you'll get everything just to start it working. Then you get a quick start to see how we actually, with some sample code and database, we have a special application to demonstrate our DB client, but we will come at it later. So we are like doing the quick start, and we will just choose the name, of course, quick start MP. It's my computer, which is called Buzz, so I will just use this one. Default will be like yes, version 2.0. So package naming will be this, and then it asks us if we want to do a developer loop. For now, I said no, but we will come to it later. So what we have a quick starter up, which is here. It is actually very, very easy to see what we have. So it's just a pure Java application with some source main folders, with some resources, with some Java file, and of course some tool file, and of course even some tests. So we will choose our favorite IDE, of course IDEA, to run our, to actually see how our application works. Okay. Just give me a second. I will just drag in something went wrong. It should be actually shown here, but I will just drag it and we'll make it full screen. So can you see it right now? Everything's okay?
Yep.
Yep, nice. So it starts with a wonderful README, and what we have here. Here we have a greeting provider, greeting resource. And here we can see a bunch of very familiar annotations like we have from MicroProfile. So we create a service like path on greeting, some request scoped being. We inject a greeting resource provider, which actually provides us some greetings. And then we have some getters and setters, which are, as you probably see, some of them are even documented with APIs, annotations. Remember, Ivan, we did this in our workshops to see actually how can you nicely annotate it with open API annotations. So everything is like Java, and it's like very, very easy. So how can we start it? So first of all, of course, we can start it like with Helidon build. So we're still using our tool for that. And guess what will happen? it will actually initiate Maven build for us. It happens a little bit slower than it usually because Zoom takes a lot of resources. So usually it happens in fractions of second, but you see, it's even testing our application. By default, you will get it. Then it packages it, and we are almost good to go. Yes, everything is packaged. So it's like a single jar. And the only thing we should do is like Java.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you, but
yeah.
we can only see your ID at the moment.
Oh, it's once again blocked. Something is happening with Zoom. Let me rejoin.
Okay, and yeah, when Mitya joins again, I see some questions in Slack and in YouTube. So yeah, I will ask them after he joins and he finishes running his commands. Okay.
I think it's a good idea to turn off my video for now. You see how I look? I get a wonderful t-shirt. It's red. And
yeah, where did you get it?
It's on the best conference in Balkan region. Yes, you should definitely visit it. You see, the name is J Prime. And if you Google it, you will see who's organizing it. Okay, I will stop sharing right now for the video and I will share my screen again because although I have gigabit connection at home, something is like broken from Zoom part.
Okay, so yeah, while you are running this, can I ask you a few questions from our
of course
wonderful watchers, observers? So the first question is from Patrick Roshchinyala. I hope I get it right. So he asks, I'm totally new with Helidon. I didn't hear about it before. If we compare it with Spring Boot, what is the difference between these? So maybe if you have slides about that later, you can answer later, or maybe you can.
So there are no slides about it. So you see, Spring Boot from the very beginning, it's a quite a big framework where you can do almost everything. So Helidon is much smaller framework, which is main idea is to focus on MicroProfile and like all the stuff that you have in Boot, lots of things there. So it's really vast framework. We are much smaller. So we are microservices focused. That means we do everything for microservices. There are some extras like DB client. I will show you later. And there are some extras like messaging, etc. But the main difference is that all the distributions that I do are like, if we talk about Hello World examples, for example, we are like 20 times smaller. Like a single jar will be like several megabytes. So I will show you the graphs for that. But yes, we are smaller. We are microservice focused, unlike Boot, which you can do almost everything with it. So it's just a bigger framework. And once again, we are MP. That means we are doing everything in a standard way. So you can put your MicroProfile code into our container. It will just work out of the box. So this is the main idea.
Okay, thank you. And from Masood Parvari, from the YouTube chat. So he has some maybe reactive oriented questions. So the first one is, does Helidon MicroProfile or Helidon MP also use Netty as web server?
Yes, it actually is, as you say, from the architecture slide, I'm like, let me show you. So most of the time, so this is like here. So Netty is always underneath. And then there's the reactive layer, which I'll show you later. And MicroProfile is actually using the layer below, or sometimes goes directly to Netty. So.
Okay, and his second question is, can I can I use R2DBC for reactive database connectivity in Helidon SE and MP?
I think that we do have support for that, yes, or it's coming, like almost like done. So we do the integration right now. So it's on its way.
Okay, and there's an advice from Timur Milovanov, who says that you need, about Zoom, you need to share a screen instead of share window. So
I did share a screen.
okay.
Yes, I did share a
Okay.
screen. So maybe it's an issue. Although it's the latest version, I did upgrade it. So you still see my screen. We are doing the live coding. So we're on this slide.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, go on,
Okay.
and it's you.
Yes, lovely. So we have, as you see, Java minus Java, we have started our file. And we only think, so to see it working, we just do some curls. That's why the best option is just to run it with like do the curls like greet. And I hope that we will have the same result as Hello World, of course. What's the good part of it? Because from the very beginning, you have information about health. So how is your health now? You see it's up and running. Name deadlock. I like it so much. Everything like disk space, and of course we have some metrics coming directly out of the box. We will do it like in JSON format that you'll be able to read them. Nice and easy. But that's not all. So as I told you, we're using our tool heavily. It's independent of our IDE. Here we have a special mode to help you. So we will use a Helidon dev mode. So we just type in dev, Helidon, of course, Helidon dev. And what it will do, so it will start and it will like observe everything, which is like what we have happening in our virtual machine. And let us change something like it's not only classes that we can change, by the way. So we just have some MicroProfile config, and we have a greeting here. I will say, hey, vjerk. It will save it. And look, as I save it, recognizes the changes, reloads everything, and the reload is extremely fast. So every time then we get type in again, and you will see like hello vjerk world. So yes, it's working and it's observing everything. By the way, as you may probably see, I'm using IDEA. And what's good part of it, IDEA itself has some support like of Helidon, so and everything with CDI. Every time I point like see endpoints, it recognizes my endpoints and actually helps us directly in the IDE to recognize them. And we're doing now even more integrations, like they will come later about IDEA. So IDE is nice, but you can use the tool to help you. So it's like good combination of everything. Okay, let's go further. As I told you, MP is a wonderful way of doing it. It's very fast and easy, but as I said, there is a SE, and we call it the danger zone. So welcome to the danger zone. This danger zone is now called Helidon SE, and maybe in future it will become like a set of reactive APIs. So this is exactly this intermediate layer, which is underneath. And unlike other frameworks, which are actually hiding this thing, we decided to share it with our programmers, with our customers. So you see, we provide a way for you to skip this MicroProfile standard stuff and do pure Java for your microservices stuff. So unlike Helidon MP, which is like MicroProfile and Jakarta components, SE is totally reactive, non-blocking micro framework. If Helidon MP is fast, SE is extremely fast. Well, if Helidon MP has a small footprint, Helidon SE has a really tiny footprint. And the style. So it's a Java EE style of APIs with annotations, etc., etc. SE is pure Java with functional style APIs, and there is absolutely no magic. That means that the only annotations we actually use there, I believe, is only the override. So it's simply pure Java. And what does that mean? So in Helidon, if you type in these annotations like getter, setters, etc., in SE, you just write Java code like routing, builder, get, response, build, and web server.start, and it will work out of the box. As I say, reactive non-blocking built on top of Netty, which was the idea. So the Netty is also underneath. So what do we actually provide there? So the core components are kind of following the MicroProfile stuff, but in a reactive way. So we have a reactive web server, we have a configuration, security, tracing, course, metrics, of course, and we have now reactive streams, reactive messaging, and web client and DB client, which is like, I'm going to talk a little bit later. So you got this, once again, out of the box. And let us see what it is. So DB client. See, microservices are nice, but we still have to persist data somehow. And we have decided to create our own wrapper DB client to help you do this in a reactive way. What does that mean? That every time you actually code with Helidon, because it's reactive from its nature, all the GDBC drivers, of course not this R2 DBC, are blocking. And to stop you, prevent you actually blocking your JVM and every call, we wrap it in a special executing service which runs asynchronously, and it provides you an asynchronous way to code everything related to database with our DB client. It's currently supposed everything for JDBC. It currently supports NoSQL drivers like Mongo. And what's a good part, it's totally integrated into Helidon SE. So that means that underneath it will provide you metrics, tracing, health checks, everything. So it also is configurable by Helidon config or like MicroProfile config. So this is a helper, I would say, a great helper for you to persist your data. Another thing is the web client itself. So the reactive web client we have created is, I think we have a question.
There is a question. It was from quite some time ago. It was connected with reactive reactive runtime of Helidon, and the question was again from Masoud, whether it's compatible with Java 9 Flow API. So I can use
a little bit later. I will answer your question.
Okay.
Yes, just
and
a
there
second.
are some more questions in the Slack channel, but I'll wait and we'll ask them later if you Dražan and Stefan.
Okay.
So go on.
Lovely, lovely. So once again, Helidon web client is like non-blocking client. It follows the idea of reactive non-blocking, which is main idea of Helidon. Observability features, that means we have all this metrics tracing and everything, and it's very extensible. This is the slide for the question, actually. So yes, we have our own reactive messaging. What is the cool part of it? So it's our own implementation of the specification, actually. So everything's supported, like API respects the back pressure, acknowledgements. Reactive streams can be used with existing APIs like current Java and Reactor. And we have connectors to Kafka, and we have connections to Oracle streaming services, of course. Yes, that means that it's our own implementation. Actually, we have it has been supported. It has been committed from sorry, I forgot the name. Actually, the creator of Reactive itself, of RX. Sorry for that. I forgot the name. I don't remember names. I remember dates, but actually, it's committed by the authors of the paradigm itself. So we are very fast. You don't need anything external. We do support Flow APIs from Java 9. So as I say, we are Java post 11. That means we do support it out of the box, which is the coolest part. And I would say that this stream operators, as we do it, are so fast that sometimes they're twice as fast as our competitors. So there are great setup examples, by the way. So if this, the name is Masul, or yes, the person who is asking. So just type me. I will then send you link to how can you actually play with all of that stuff. So and we are very fast and sometimes twice as fast as our competitors. So once again, show me the code. So unlike here, so everything is stopped. I think that we don't have anything running. So I will just, close it. Close idea for now. And let's go back to our application, to our console. Once again, we will use our Helidon tool to init an application. This time we will choose this flavor like SE. And we will do a quick start as well and answer some questions. And we have,
yep. Yeah, there are some questions, but a couple of them I will postpone.
I will let the ideas start and I can answer them.
Okay.
Yep, just go ahead.
So Stefan Angelov from the Bulgarian asks if Helidon provides support for AWS Lambda.
It's like a PR, which is almost in the code. So I believe in the next release it will be there. So we make an extensive support of any functions. It's not only AWS. It's going to be like also the Azure functions, etc., etc. So we have an extensive support for that, and it's already a PR, which is, I believe, gonna be merged quite soon. Okay. Yes, it's like extensive testing right now. So let us go back once again. We start with a wonderful README, and as you may probably see, let it take some time. Of course, Zoom takes a lot of the resources. Oh, idea, please be faster. Yes. Unlike everything which was in a MicroProfile, where here we have a main class which has a main method, and here we got a web server. So as you say, we just start it. It's very functional. So every time we do it with completable future. So we say at the server start, then it just returns a completable future. And then you can actually show or do something else. And of course, we can do exceptionally if there's some issue with running. So it's very functional way. As you see, to add metrics, you only have to create metric support, and health, you need to have health. You just register them and it builds. So one of the coolest stuff that I can run it directly like a main method out from the IDE. And I believe, yes, it usually takes some time for IDEA to do this. Yes, fractions of a second, and you are there. And if we run the terminal again, if I see, we got the very same message with the greeting, and as you see, we got even the health here. So it's like choosing what is the best thing for you. You get it out of the box, and as you may see, it runs in fractions of a second. And as it's pure Java, it can run its native image support. So we have a native image ready profile for you. You just use it. It really takes some time to do this. So what is actually Helidon MP? So we usually say it's like a jetliner. It's the most comfortable way for you to start coding and doing stuff. That means that I believe 99% of your tasks can be completed with MicroProfile. It's very fast. It's as you say, portable, so it will be easy for you to port everything you've written in MicroProfile, from any other container to Helidon. It will run out of the box. Why? Because, by the way, we have a full weld actually implementation, which is carrying for CDI. So we have full CDI support out of the box. That means with no compromises, everything you run, which is MicroProfile compatible, it's certified, it runs. But whenever you have to do some specific tasks, like, you are running a service which requires full performance, only Java without any magic on there, it's like Helidon SE is your choice. That means that you just take the Reactive API, remove all the beauty, magic, and so on, and you receive this functionality, but it's much higher speeds and much scalable. As you see, it's pure Java, so it's lovely with debugging. So you just debug it in your regular debugger in the ADE. Yes. So at the end, what actually user gets. So first of all, we have several build profiles, and one of them is like executable jar. So that means that we have a hollow jar. That means that the code is there, and all third-party dependencies are stored separately to take advantage of the Docker layering. So that means that if you run a Helidon build tool, it will only compile the things you need and build it with Docker. If there's some special Docker profiles there, it will just build only your stuff and not download everything again and again and create Docker images for you with libraries. And the next thing, as I told you, we are modular and we are Java 11. So if you take a look at the code of Helidon, it is modular. That means that we have a J-Link optimized build for you, and all the modules you don't need. Like, for example, your application doesn't need metrics, doesn't need like health checks or whatever it is. It won't be in your custom image if you run it with J-Link image. It will be small, fast, and optimized. And another thing, of course, is a Graal native image thing. We are quite proud of the fact that our weld implementation, so there's some tweaks that we do there, actually is also native image ready, and all the CDI extensions we do there are done to care about native image readiness. That means that GraalVM, it does have some restrictions, but we are like aware of them, and we're doing like big focus to handle them correctly. At the end, native image is only 28 megabytes for SE. So J-Link, you see, can go down to 83 megabytes, which is like pure Java, but optimized JRE. And of course, JVM stuff like can go more because you have the JVM there. So startup times, fractions of a second. Even when you are running with Zoom, because it takes a lot of my power resources right now, it's still very fast. And as you see, J-Link, like for example, we don't have to load anything additional, so it also lowers the usage. Native image, disk footprint, 22 megs for the entire image. With J-Link, it goes down to 70 megs. And yes, JVM, the jar file itself of our Helidon is usually like 5 to 10 megabytes, really, really small, because everything else goes to libraries and you can Docker layer them. Yes, so we have just covered some small examples out of it, but what's the good part is that there's a big example, our Helidon sock shop. It also shows some coherent stuff there, another open source project. So just play with it, and it will show you everything about Helidon can do. But so Helidon 2.2 is out. And what does that mean actually for you? So we have virtual threads support already. We have MicroProfile GraphQL support. They have Micronaut data integration. So that means that, as I told you, Micronaut, I will show you later a little bit. Multiple JDBC driver now support native image. This is something we were focused on to work on this release, and of course some bug fixes. But let's take a look more deeply. So Project Loom. Project Loom.
Before you go there,
mm-hmm.
Can I ask you some questions?
Yep.
So to start with, from Jorge Men. Is it possible to generate Gradle-based projects instead of Maven?
So currently with the tool, no. I mean, we're working on that, but currently with the Helidon, the CLI tool, we don't do this. So we're mostly Maven based.
Okay, and then I think there is a question from LearnJ, which coincides a little bit with a question from Dražen Nikolic from Nizhjuk.
Yay, hello.
How do you compare Helidon to other MicroProfile implementations like Wildfly, or maybe Dražen meant Quarkus, Payara, Micro, and so on? How can we choose the right platform for our project? So I guess you'll say that Helidon is the right platform, but
yes, absolutely, it's the right platform. Absolutely, no compromises.
Okay, so but how would you compare? How would you compare those?
So once again, Quarkus is amazing. I love it. It's beautiful, and everything they do is perfect. Very, very great team. They only have some stuff about CDI itself, so they don't provide full CDI support. This may be an issue. So if you just drop something from other platforms, I mean big platforms, to microservices, there you may become issues because it's not full CDI support there, and it's like I'm not sure, by the way, maybe you can help me here, Ivan. I believe it still holds support for Java 8, I guess, so it's compatible with Java 8. So
yes,
they are not backward compatible.
It supports both Java 8 and Java 11. There are discussions right now whether Java 8 should be dropped, but it's still there.
Yes, it's still there. We are not doing this anymore. So we decided we're Java 11 plus. That means that whatever you choose, so if your project is like modern, really modern project, it should be like modern. With no compromises, we use the latest Java technology. So even the code itself, as you see, it utilizes like all the optimizations, which are not only modules, which are lots. We try to integrate them as soon as possible. Then the other thing is Micronaut. Micronaut is not MicroProfile based framework. But we can integrate, and I will show you how. So I believe Helidon is really nice if you are running something very modern, if you like modularity, and if you like full GraalVM support, even with even with CDI. So it's definitely your choice. So
okay, yep. And a question from in YouTube from Spiros Argiriopoulos. sorry Spiros. So he asks, how does Helidon MP handle reflection on native images?
Okay, so that's like a big discussion. So we have our reflective annotations there. So I'm not sure if I can answer this in like we have only 5 minutes left, and I have so much to show you. But first of all, of course, all the limitations that GraalVM does provide you, so you have to care about them. But as I told you, our welt is aware of it. And so even if I go like a little bit deeper, so our welt is splitting the phases of loading and initializing. And with this, actually, you can have like really real native support there. But once again, all the limitations that the I would say GraalVM has, you have to think about it. But we do have annotation. So we have two ways. Actually, we have a JSON file there, which actually you describe what will be the getters and setters that you're using there. And the other thing is just annotate like with reflective your class, and it will be handled correctly. So we do have annotations for that as well. I hope this answers your question.
Yeah, I hope to.
Yep.
You can go on with your presentation.
Yes, and this is the part I love very much. So once again, Project Loom, you probably have heard of it. So it's something like game changer in the world of Microsoft of Java itself. So it introduces something like fibers and continuations or virtual threads right now. And what's the good part of it? That we are already supporting it. So let us actually try it. I believe, just give me some okay, I get it. I unfortunately closed something. Let me go just, where is my my console? Yes, I will go to, then I will open like idea and Helidon itself. Oh, no, it's not here. Wait a second. It's like, once again, in VJUK, I have prepared a special project for you. It is here, yes, and it is called QV. I will open his idea, the QV project. Yes, just give us a second. So what we will see our typical greeting project, greeting provider, which is like usual greeting provider with hello. It is nothing special here. We only have one thing added to our MicroProfile config, which is like server virtual threads through. So let me check if I'm running the correct Java version. So we have Java minus version. It's 11, so I have to switch JDK 17. And let me check right now. Now it's 17 with Loom support. So it's an early access build. You see, I'm using Java 17. Oh, I'll take a look at the release date. It's 2021 September. Actually, we're now working for the future. Yes. So it does support Loom. It does support virtual threads. So let us take a look. Here, even I will use our Helidon init Helidon build tool to support it in a better way. So Helidon build, not build, but run dev mode. Okay, so as you probably may see, this is a regular greeting project that we have there, with which we're going to a little bit modify right now. So as you see, it is like curl greet. It does return us hello world. But how does it actually return? When we add this property there, let us create our default message. We will do like thread and then dump. And save it. And as you probably will see, yes, we are doing incremental build and it runs smoothly. Now, if I call the same function, it will still print us hello world, but it will dump us at the thread. And here's the stack trace. Of course, we have a lot of the word reflections, etc. But if we take a look at the minute, we will see this thing. That means that all our requests are now running in virtual threads. That means that we have millions of these threads and they will come very cheap to us. So by adding only one annotation and actually just specifying that we want to build to version 17, you see, we are utilizing virtual threads directly. So you may try even and play with it. Here I've prepared a small function like greeting million. Let us call it greet million. It will just return this very fast counter to 1 million, but what it actually does, take a look. It's an atomic integer, which actually starts 1 million virtual threads and just count and do the increments and sleep to get like the biggest part is actually sleeping just to get the result done. So as you see here in Helidon, you can utilize it. We are ready for that. You see, million threads is a pure Mach 15, I guess, Mach 2017. We can run millions of threads, and we do have this support, and I'm really happy about it. So take a look at it. So more information about what Project Loom is. There's lots of videos by Ron Pressler. Just have a look at them. It's really out of the scope of the talk, but we already do support them. So I hope you like it. Micronaut integrations. So I'm not sure if you have enough time for that. So, but like we do support, once again, Micronaut is wonderful because it has it's a masterpiece in the world of microservices. It has really, it's small and easy to use, and we have created our own integration for Micronaut. That means that everything you've written in Micronaut can be used in Helidon as well. So you can actually port your code to our without some really just adding pure annotation. So we have a CDI annotation that converts Micronaut beans into CDI environments, so we can use it from the CDI, and it supports like JDBC connections for that. So that means that it's only one-way integration. So you can use CDI beans, but actually Micronaut cannot see your CDI. But if you port code from CDI to Helidon, it can be used. So how can you do this? Actually, you just add one dependency like Micronaut data here, for example. You can add you should add the Micronaut dependencies itself, because actually Micronaut has built its stuff. Actually, that's the next step. You have this plugin because it builds at compile time all the beans, and you're actually ready. Since we have no time, there's a special pre-recorded demo. Please take a look at it. So it's on our official Helidon channel. It will help you a lot. Another thing which is mostly required by community and everybody is actually GraphQL support. So it's been focused on MicroProfile GraphQL specification, which is like code for a set of APIs. So you only need to annotate everything with special annotations like GraphQL API, and we will generate you the schema, and it will be like available through HTTP requests. Once again, we're out of the time, so that's why I have a pre-recorded demo. Please take a look at it. And once again, as we are approaching the end of the talk, Helidon. If you want to play with Helidon, go to helidon.io. It's a good place to start. A lot of good articles on our official Medium channel, and that's if you like watching videos. We are recording videos quite often right now. We started recording more videos. We have our official YouTube channel where you can find all these demonstrations with some explanation, as well as from my side and from my colleagues, from my really great colleagues. So I believe this was all, and I send you a lot of virtual hugs. Like, let me show you my video again. Hugs. And thank you very much. Whenever you have questions.
Some more questions, yes, in both channels. Gunnar Di Sutanto asks whether Helidon supports Hibernate Reactive. So it's the reactive layer of Hibernate that was introduced a couple of months ago.
I believe it's on its way. As I told you, we're now like doing this uh, we're building a lot of native image stuff there. So I will check it more, and if you tweet me about it, I will answer you in the tweets. Exactly. So I believe there was even an example which is going to be published quite soon.
Okay, then LearnJ asks, do you see challenges if legacy Java libraries are used with a new Helidon application?
So I believe everything which is like bytecode manipulation libraries, maybe there will be some challenges, but since JVM itself is compatible with backward compatible with previous versions, I'm not sure there will be problems. But of course, if there are bytecode manipulations, which is like cheating, there may be issues. But once again, you can run your Java 6 code on Java 17 virtual machine. I believe there will be no issues for that.
Okay, and then from a couple of more questions from Masood. How do you do non-blocking authentication authorization in Helidon? Something similar to Spring Security, for example?
Well, once again, answering this question will be a little bit well, a lot. So there is a wonderful set of examples on our official GitHub. So I believe there is an example for that as well. So I haven't played with it. So I will check it out. And once again, if required, just ping me in Twitter or whatever you find a good way to find it. I will send it.
Okay, and in your Loom demo, is Netty itself using virtual threads?
There's a virtual executor for that. So actually, virtual execution service. So I'm not sure how it is actually done underneath very deeply, but actually, yes. So we submit an executor, which is like virtual threads executor with this property, and it runs everything in its own virtual threads.
So you're
this property is actually
you're running that from your application directly and not relying. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to wrap it
up,
up,
we are submitting the executor to Netty. So this is
okay.
Yeah.
And to wrap it up, the last question, it's again from LearnJ, and it's what kinds of applications will benefit from using Helidon, and what kind of applications should not use Helidon?
Okay, so Helidon is everything about microservices. It's not a good idea to render 3D applications or have images on Helidon. So once again, you see, we are MicroProfile based for our main use cases scenarios. That means whenever you have MicroProfile stuff you want to run, Helidon is a wonderful choice. Modern, fast, and safe way of doing it. And whenever you have special tasks, once again, if you want some higher loads, like with some reactive messaging, etc., Helidon SE can be a good idea as well. But if you run like really big, have big pressures, and you just don't want to waste your time on like all this CDI engines, etc. So everything is about that. So it's not a desktop application. It's like server, and it's about microservices. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mitya. And thank you very much, everyone who joined.
Thank you so much.
Hope you liked it. And yeah, have a good day, evening, or good night. And see you just in a week with the next session from the Virtual Jug. Until then, stay safe and code Java.
Yeah. Virtual hugs to everybody. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a big pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for questions and being a wonderful host. Thank you.